Thank you for taking the time to learn about a new program that will begin this fall at Lemont High School, our advisory program. The purpose of this presentation is to explain what an advisory program is, why we're implementing an advisory program, and what students will experience during their advisory period. I'll remind you of this later, but contained within the email message used to send you this presentation, there's a link to submit questions and comments. We welcome your feedback. Since the 1920 school year, under the direction of the District 210 Board of Education, Lemont High School administrators and faculty have made school culture a priority. We've been working toward a goal to research, plan, and implement strategies that increase students' sense of belonging to Lemont High School and foster a school culture of respect and acceptance. To that end, we have read books, reviewed research, studied local and national data trends, and looked into best practices used by other highly regarded high schools in Illinois. While annual surveys indicate that we have a positive culture here at Lemont High School, we can always improve, and we believe that an advisory program, which promotes connectedness and a sense of community, will do just that. So what is advisory? It might be helpful for you to think of advisory as a distant cousin to homeroom, a concept with which many of us may be familiar from our high school days. Logistically, advisory groups will consist of approximately 15 to 18 students who are at the same grade level. These students will meet with one teacher for half an hour on most Wednesdays during the school year. These advisory groups will stay together throughout the students' high school years. I want to point out that on Wednesdays when advisory occurs, the school day is longer and it will end at 3 o'clock rather than 2:37. Also, on these Wednesdays, our school day will continue to start at 8:40 a.m. in order for teachers to participate in professional learning communities. So on most Wednesdays during the school year, students will be at school from 8:40 a.m. to 3 o'clock p.m. In the next few slides, I want to share our rationale for implementing an advisory program. During the transition from a middle school environment to a much larger high school environment with more teachers and more students, students can feel like they're getting lost in the shuffle. Ensuring that every student has a home base with a connection to at least one adult in the school decreases anonymity, something that's important when you consider the number of teachers a student could have prior to graduation. When schools engage in practices that foster a sense of community, students are more likely to be motivated, resilient, and successful. Connectedness through an advisory program is likely to foster a culture of respect and acceptance and promote higher expectations for success and value for academic work. One of the most compelling aspects of implementing an advisory program is school safety. Clearly, a welcome byproduct of explicitly building a school environment of respect and acceptance is that students who feel like they belong to a school are less likely to commit violence there. So what will students learn during their advisory periods? What is the advisory curriculum? Like the curriculum for other content areas, the advisory curriculum is aligned to Illinois standards, in this case, the Illinois Social and Emotional Learning Standards. Approximately 20 members of our Lemont High School faculty created the advisory lessons. This committee of teachers and administrators reviewed existing advisory content and programs and then custom designed advisory lessons for our school. Like anything new, lessons and themes will change and evolve over time based on the feedback received from both teachers and students. The advisory committee will periodically gather feedback so that we can continually improve. Student voice is a critical piece to building a successful advisory program. This is a quick overview of the Illinois Social and Emotional Learning Standards. The Illinois State Board of Education has organized 10 standards under these 3 overarching goals. The first goal is to develop self-awareness and self-management skills to achieve school and life success. Standards under this goal include managing emotions and behavior, recognizing external supports, and achieving personal and academic goals. The second goal is to use social awareness and interpersonal skills to establish and maintain positive relationships. Standards under this goal include recognizing the perspectives of others, using communication skills to interact effectively with others, and resolving interpersonal conflicts in constructive ways. Goal 3 is to demonstrate decision-making skills and responsible behaviors in personal, school, and community contexts. Standards under this goal include considering ethical and safety factors when making decisions, applying decision-making skills to deal responsibly with academic and social situations, and contributing to the community. As I previously mentioned, our advisory curriculum committee members organized our advisory content into monthly themes with lessons to support each theme. This table shows the monthly themes and associated lesson topics planned for the 23-24 school year. And I'll pause just a moment here so you have some time to take a look at that. Lesson topics intended to build self-awareness and self-management skills include identifying preferred learning style or styles, applying it, and then reflecting on how learning was impacted. Asking for help, who to ask, in what format, and what to say when help is needed. Life skills such as prioritizing, organizing, and other executive functioning skills. Test anxiety, it's real, and it's experienced in varying degrees by many students. What strategies might help? Another lesson topic is sleep, specifically how getting enough sleep, or not, which is the case with a lot of our students, affects a healthy lifestyle. Advisory lesson topics that support developing interpersonal skills and positive relationships include finding common connections with other students in their advisory group and with the advisory teacher through short interactive activities designed to build belonging and foster a sense of community. How to communicate with adults is another relationship skill, whether that communication is done in person or via email, and how that is different from communicating with peers. An underrated relationship building skill is listening. How can listening skills be improved? Students will be encouraged to engage in acts of kindness and learn about ways to become actively involved in the school community and in the greater Lemont community. Decision-making skills can be developed through lesson topics such as setting goals for the semester and the school year, career exploration and post-secondary planning, discussion of school safety and why it is so important to make the decision to say something when you see something. Throughout the school year during advisory, periodically students will practice various safety measures. How much is too much screen time, and appropriately using social media are other relevant advisory lesson topics. This is what a typical 30-minute advisory period might look like. Previously, I mentioned short activities designed to build a sense of community or a sense of belonging, and that's how most advisory periods will begin, with an interactive activity to set the tone, lighten the mood, relax a bit. We anticipate these opening activities may take about 7 to 10 minutes. In the next few minutes of the advisory period, the teacher will provide an overview of the lesson topic. As you can see, this overview might include a short video, a verbal description, or possibly showing a few slides. This will be followed by an engaging discussion of the lesson content, and ideally, this discussion is among the students, and it's facilitated by the teacher. Finally, in the last few minutes of most advisory periods, there will be a brief opportunity for students to share what they liked or didn't like about the advisory lesson and what suggestions they might have to make it better. As we continue to prepare for the implementation of our advisory program next fall, we'll create an advisory program page on the district's website. This is where we will post an FAQ document, and it's also where monthly themes and lesson topics can be located. As the master schedule for the 23-24 school year is finalized, advisory groups will be established. And finally, the Board of Education plans to stay apprised of the status of our advisory program through curriculum committee meetings that will be held during the upcoming school year. We welcome your questions and comments. Please use the link found in the body of the email message that you received containing this presentation. We want to hear from you. Thanks again for taking the time to view this presentation.